It's brunch with Brian, and here we are again. So, guys, I'm in the studio today as usual, and so I am on Fridays, like I used to come formal dining on Fridays. There's a lot of special days today, a lot of special national days today. Honor your ancestors. But today I was going to talk about acquisitionists. Should you work with an assistant? Should you get an acquisitionist or an assistant? And at what point should you do that? Okay. In the meantime, I'll remind you it's Hug a Vegetarian Day. So actually have a lot of vegetarians in my life. Two of my kids out of three are vegetarians. So gonna have to give them a hug today. And then also it's a National Day of Forgiveness. Now that's a topic I talk about a lot, as you guys know, because I think forgiveness is so crucial for your happiness, being able to forgive yourself and forgive others. Nobody's going to be perfect, and people will wrong you, and you will do dumb things. And if you get hung up on it, it's going to really hold you back. And so forgiveness is one of my things I'm not great at, but probably that's why I created systems to try to help myself be more forgiving of myself and others. Actually, I'm pretty good at forgiving others, less good at forgiving myself. Who's like that? All right, so guys, I want you to be, yeah, it's National Day of Forgiveness. So I actually have a forgiveness ritual that I do. So listen, here's what you do. Whoever did you wrong, or if you did yourself wrong, okay, write down what the offense was, what the big offense was. Sometimes it was years of, I mean, let's face it, there's some serious stuff out there that you have to forgive people for. Years of emotional abuse, things like that, or physical abuse. I mean, I had issues when I was a kid for that. And so, you write it down on it, and sometimes it's just one stupid thing. I accidentally, I got in a car accident when I was on texting on my phone, and I can't forgive myself over it. Things like that. So it could be a one incident or an extended thing, and it could be you're forgiving yourself or you're forgiving someone else. Either way, forgiveness is crucial. So what I do, this is a forgiveness ritual. You write it on a piece of paper. Okay. And I'm not saying this is 100% magic, but the more you buy into it, the more you let this cleanse you, the more it works. Okay. So this forgiveness ritual, you write it on a piece of paper. And then I have some phrases that you say, but basically you say, I accept that this happened and I forgive the offending party. I forgive myself. I forgive, my parents or whoever it is who did you wrong. Okay. Because if you hang on to this, who is it hurting? If someone else hurt you in the past and you are hanging on to it and you have PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder over it, is it hurting them? No, it's hurting you and it continues to hurt you. Why allow them to continue to hurt you? Okay, so when you forgive somebody else, you're really letting yourself off the hook. Okay, you're purging those negative emotions out of your own life. So that's really important. So I want you to forgive other people, get that negativity out of your life and let it go. So write it on a piece of paper, say, I accept this happened. I forgive, whoever did me wrong, including if it was me. I've done that a lot because I I'm a perfectionist and I hang on to stuff. So I have a lot of self forgiveness sometimes I want to do. So then, but then you burn it up. You crumple the piece of paper up and then you light it on fire and you burn it up and then you flush the ashes. Okay, so this is a little ritual and you got to say, I'm letting this go. And then as you're flushing ashes, you say, I'm letting it go. Okay, and then you let it go. And then if you ever start to think about it again, what do? You think of an affirmation. You program in an affirmation. So how do we do pattern interrupts? This is okay. So as soon as you start going back there to that thing, that car accident or whatever that you can't forgive yourself for, you think of it. What are you going to think from now on? Hey, you forgave yourself for that. You're not going to go back to that, beating yourself up over that. So what are you going to do? You're going to program in an affirmation. We call it a trigger affirmation and a trigger gesture. That's going to, whenever you think about that car accident, that thing, whatever, it's going to snap you out of it because you're going to automatically go to that trigger affirmation. So you got to plan this in advance. So even before your forgiveness ritual, plan in advance response you're going to have to that trigger in the future. You have to switch your response to the trigger. The trigger not going away. Now, sometimes you can take the trigger away. So if just one person always annoyed you and now they're out of your life, but you can't let go of it, but you have a picture of them over there on your wall, take the picture down, get rid of the triggers. Okay, so sometimes if you can get rid of triggers, if you see, okay, that thing always triggers me, or whenever I talk to that person, I get triggered, don't talk to that person anymore. Are they really helping you, or is there a reason you have to talk to them? If not, sometimes, you get bad triggers out of your life, or you reprogram your response. It's either one of the two. So that's a lot about forgiveness today, but forgiveness is really a big topic. Again, I was going to talk about when you hire an assistant and acquisitionist. I'm going to talk about that next week. I will tell you right now that I hired an assistant before we did our first deal. It was inexpensive. I wasn't paying her a ton of money, but she, I had her working with me 40 hours a week. But even if you had someone just 20 hours a week, that really focuses you. I mean, you have to do something because you have to pay them, and they have to do something, and so that can really propel you forward to inevitable success. I will talk about that more next week. Okay. Morning, Isabel. Happy Friday. Same. Happy Friday, Noel and Kathy. I think excellent topic. Thank you, guys. I think we don't have our Florida people. So again, guys, I think let's say a prayer for all of our Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, all of our East Coast brunchers, because they're all going through some turmoil now with that big Hurricane Helene. So let's all say a prayer. Lord, please watch over all of our brunchers and everybody else in those areas affected by the weather, and make sure that they're safe and they come through this stronger than ever. Amen. Okay, so guys, let's have a great day today. Let's forgive ourselves. Okay. Now we're getting Tony. Hey, Tony. Good morning. It's important to note our steps so we can delegate. Yeah, that's a good point. Now, guys, I do have this acquisitionist system. We used to charge $14.97 for it. I'd probably give it to you for, I don't know. If you're a loyal bruncher, I'll probably give it to you for, I don't know, $2.97 or something like that. I don't know. It's a great system, but it does have all the training and everything to hire an acquisitionist, the ads you put out if you're advertising, how to train them. In fact, there's a whole bunch of videos in there where it's called Brian Trains Your Acquisitionist. And I want you to, there's 3 of them, and they're each about an hour long. And so if they just watch these 3-hour long videos, they're going to be trained up. Okay. And so you don't have to train your acquisitionist. Let me train them. Let them just send them home on the weekend. Or if you want to work with one of your kids or something like that, just get this acquisition system, give them the system. It trains them for you. There's 2 components, actually. There's an investor module, and then there's an assistant or acquisitionist module. You give the acquisitionist module their module. It's got all their scripts and all their steps and everything they need to be doing. And then you obviously are in a supervisory position. So you've got the actual training manual of how to deal with your acquisitionists, including compensation and every other thing you can think of. So that, guys, you know how detailed I am. I really created a great system there. So, and we're not really offering it to people. So if you want that acquisition system, I'd love to help you out with that if you guys are thinking about it. But I'm going to talk about that more next week. Like I said, hey, Roger always comes in on Friday. Roger, coming every day. Okay, guys. So it's National Forgiveness Day. So think of the number one thing you have to forgive someone else for, the number one thing you still hang on to and think about that adds negative emotion into your life, and the number one thing you have to forgive yourself for. Okay. And then let's do that forgiveness ritual and then let it go. And then remember, reprogram, because those triggers are still going to exist in your environment. So it's still, and your habit was to think about that thing. So you got to reprogram your triggers. See the trigger, either get rid of the trigger or make that trigger send you to a different trigger affirmation. And you got to program that in advance. I'm talking about role control there, guys, and our Psych Ups program, which I always talk about, and I'll talk about more as we go forward. And good morning, Caleb. Do what you do best and get the heck out of the way to let others do The same, yes. So putting someone on your team is a great idea. Good morning, Linda. Okay, only flooding and power outages. Good job. So Linda, good job. Linda made it from Florida, and she's even on the brunch the next day. So great job, everybody. All right, so our affirmation for today is I forgive others and myself. Okay, ready? 3 times on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I forgive others and myself. I forgive others and myself. I forgive others and myself. All right, 3 deep breaths. Nice deep breath in. Hold it a little bit and let it go. Okay, relax your shoulders. Another one. Good. And let it go. I always love deep breathing in the morning. Last one, real deep. And always big smile and let it go and relax. Awesome. All right, guys. So have a great weekend. Remember your KPI is 20 phone calls a week. Have you contacted 20 people this week? Not just called them and left a message, but actually talked to 20 people this week. Talking to 20 people a week will make sure your business is moving forward. So I will talk to everybody on Monday. And in the meantime, have a great day. And you guys in Florida and Georgia and all the rest of those states on the Southeast, please take care of yourselves and stay safe. Okay, I will see you guys on Monday. Until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training from the Wolf Couple, and taking action.